As the asset manager for Avanath, one of the things that I'm responsible for is making sure that the assets that I manage are always performing financially. We found that the Smart Rain controller was very cost competitive when compared to the other platforms. And that was very important for us, particularly. What was also attracted to us was the fact that they were willing to backstop their product with a guarantee of savings. And that really piqued my interest. That really got me going in terms of these guys really believe in the product and that they're willing to stand behind that. That was really, really important for us. Property management is very labor intensive. And when it comes to irrigation, the people most responsible for that will be the on-site manager as well as the on-site maintenance supervisor. And everybody's got 1,000 things going on every day. And the last thing that people think about is irrigation. Though irrigation, along with the other efforts that are kind of being, other technologies emerging in the ESG space, makes it a critical component of any sort of ESG strategy. But in order to make that strategy effective, you need a product that's really, really accessible for everybody on site. Because at the end of the day, they have to be the one monitoring what's going on with the irrigation. They have to be maintaining that system. And what we found was that the product, when we introduced it to our on-site maintenance managers and on-site maintenance teams, they were just amazed by the power that the device had, the power that the platform had on their phone. This was something that they've never had before. And it was taking them into a new generation of product and product knowledge that we wanted to introduce them. And the ease of use, the graphic interface that Smart Rain has just made it so easy for everybody on site to understand how to use it as well as how to maintain it. We started looking at smart irrigation controllers in California because, like everybody in the West, drought and the lack of water was a concern. At the end of 2021, some mandatory water restrictions were starting to be implemented. We had anticipated this and thought, well, this is probably something we want to get ahead of. What can we do to kind of maintain our investments in our landscaping, right, in order to preserve those assets? And that was really the genesis for why we wanted to pursue smart controllers in California. While we are investigating that, obviously the results on some of the sites are coming back very positive. We're looking at other ways to expand their product cross country, as we found that the experience that we have thus far has been really, really outstanding. One of the things that about Smart Rain support is that they're just so accessible, right? That they are willing to answer our questions with regards to how to operate the system. If someone on site isn't as familiar or may have forgotten a little bit in terms of how to use the product, we can reach out to Smart Rain and say, hey, can we get a retraining? Can you help us figure this situation? How do we do this? But also, one of the things that we found early on is that they helped us diagnose some of the current problems that we were having in our irrigation system. Faulty valves, bad sprinkler heads, helping us identify leaks that they were monitoring for us. So that was an incredible system for us. When we started this whole process, one of the things in California that we were very aware was that there was rebates available for smart irrigation controllers. And the combination of local state support or local municipality support with regards to replacing smart controllers made it just that much more accessible. And one of the key things working with Smart Rain was they were aware of that, and they wanted to make sure that we were not missing any potential rebates that could make their product even more affordable and more accessible for the on-site team. So one of the things that we found while using Smart Rain was that even on our most challenging properties, we were still finding water savings and cost savings and time savings. You know, when you operate a property, it's very hard to isolate one factor sometimes. Oftentimes, there are several different issues occurring at the same time, whether it's a faulty valve in a shower head or a faulty valve in several toilets. You know, water is consumed in ways that you can't always control. And in our most challenging properties, when we were aware that there was some leaks, the Smart Rain product was still able to generate water savings and cost savings for us. And I thought that was particularly amazing, because here is a property that was having some issues that we were aware of that needed to be fixed. And yet, once we still installed the Smart Rain product, we were finding that irregardless, the Smart controller was generating water savings for us. One of the things that we have found with Smart Rain thus far is the numbers that they have developed for us have been very conservative. In fact, we are hitting our performance numbers on numerous properties ahead of the payback schedule that we worked with Smart Rain on. And we're really excited about that because, one, the water savings and the cost savings have already effectively paid for the product. And going forward, we expect that those water savings and those cost savings and labor savings will ultimately impact the property long-term in a positive way. In the future, one of the things that we hope to do on several of our properties is to improve the landscaping or the curb appeal. And when you're making adjustments on plants and vegetation and flower beds, etc., that's a significant investment on the property by ownership. And that investment, we just want to make sure is properly maintained. And one of the easiest thing that could cause that investment to deteriorate is just not irrigating it properly. And so we believe that once we have the smart controllers in place, that the second phase of how we're improving our properties with regards to the curb appeal would make a lot more sense. We don't have to worry about what's going to happen to that investment afterwards, because we know that the product that is already on site will make sure that it's properly irrigated and the correct moisture level is there, so the vegetation won't deteriorate.